Welcome back to my channel Rare Coins Shop. If you love discovering hidden treasures, you're in the right place. First, we're revealing some coins that could be worth way more than you think. Stick around to find out. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We're diving deep into the story of a coin that has captured the attention of numismatists and collectors alike, the United States Liberty 1 dime coin from 1977. This small but mighty coin has a story that stretches back over centuries, and believe me, it's one that's well worth telling. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much this coin could be worth today. Let's start with a little history to set the stage. The Liberty 1 dime coin, also known as the Mercury dime, was first minted in 1916, and while the 1977 version doesn't bear the famous winged Liberty head that gives it its nickname, it still carries a wealth of history and significance. By the time we reach 1977, the United States was well into its modern era, and the coin itself was a representation of American resilience, independence, and the shifting landscape of the nation's economy. Now, let's talk about the 1977 Liberty 1 dime in particular. By this time, the design had been updated and changed multiple times, but this specific issue, minted in 1977, was part of a long-standing tradition that continued to circulate the country. While the coin wasn't necessarily rare at first glance, it's what lies beneath the surface that makes it so fascinating to collectors today. One of the first things to understand is that most of the Liberty 1 dimes from 1977 were minted and spent like regular coins, used in daily transactions, tucked away in change jars, or simply passed along from one person to the next. Over time, most of these coins became worn, lost their shine, and were eventually discarded or melted down. But there are a select few that have managed to survive the years in pristine condition, untouched by the passage of time. So, what exactly makes the 1977 Liberty 1 dime so valuable? The answer lies in its rarity. As with most collectible coins, condition is king. While millions of these coins were produced in 1977, very few of them have remained in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. A coin that has been well preserved without the usual marks of circulation, scratches, dings, or discoloration, can be worth a substantial amount of money, but it's not just about pristine condition. Over the years, certain varieties of the 1977 Liberty 1 dime have come to light that have captured the attention of coin collectors. These include certain minting errors, such as off-center strikes or unusual die marks. These error coins are incredibly rare and can dramatically increase the value of a single dime. For instance, imagine stumbling across a 1977 Liberty 1 dime with an off-center strike, where the design is misaligned, or a coin that has been struck with double dies, giving the impression of a blurred design. These kinds of errors are extremely rare and sought after in the numismatic community, often selling for much higher prices than standard issues. Now, let's talk about the overall appeal of the 1977 Liberty 1 dime. Beyond its scarcity in uncirculated condition and the occasional minting error, this coin holds an undeniable charm. The design, though updated from the original Mercury dime design, still carries the essence of what makes this coin such a beloved part of American currency. Its compact size and timeless symbolism of liberty and freedom have made it a staple in the collections of coin enthusiasts across the globe. If you've ever wondered whether your collection of old dimes could hold a hidden treasure, now is the time to take a closer look at the 1977 Liberty 1 dime. You might just be holding on to a coin that's worth far more than its face value. So, what is this little coin worth today, you ask? After all, many of us associate dimes with being relatively low in value. But when it comes to rare and collectible coins, everything changes. A 1977 Liberty 1 dime, if found in uncirculated, perfect condition, can fetch quite a significant sum in the right market. And for those rare error coins, the value skyrockets even more. Are you ready for the big reveal? Brace yourself, because a 1977 Liberty 1 dime in exceptional, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error, can be worth an astounding $87,000, that's right, $87,000. For a single dime. It's incredible how much a piece of American history like this can be worth, isn't it? if you happen to have a 1977 Liberty 1 dime tucked away in your collection, it might be time to pull it out and give it a closer look. You could be sitting on a small fortune. And if you don't have one yet, remember, rare coins like this are out there waiting to be discovered. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and this is just one example of how seemingly ordinary coins can hide extraordinary value. Second rare coin, we have an exciting journey ahead of us as we explore the fascinating world of rare coins. This time, we're taking a closer look at a little gem from the United States, a coin that might be sitting in your collection or even tucked away in a drawer without you realizing its true value. I'm talking about the 1980 Liberty 1 dime. Now, most people might think of a dime as just a small, everyday coin with a value of 10 cents. But what if I told you that this particular coin could be worth a lot more than you expect? That's right, while it's easy to overlook, the 1980 Liberty 1 dime has some unique qualities that could make it a collector's dream. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked at just how much this dime could fetch if you happen to have one in top-notch condition. Let's start with some context. The 1980 Liberty 1 dime is part of the larger series of dimes that have been minted since 1946, featuring Franklin Roosevelt's portrait. This coin, minted in Philadelphia, hence the P mint mark, was issued during a time when the United States was in the midst of some significant economic changes. The economy was recovering from the 1970s stagflation, and inflation was still a concern, though the 1980s would eventually see a period of economic growth. Even though dimes like the 1980 were produced in large quantities and used in everyday transactions, they weren't considered rare at first. But over the years, things have changed. Coins that once seemed commonplace are now becoming increasingly rare in pristine condition, and the 1980 Liberty 1 dime is a perfect example of this. Why is this coin so sought after? The answer lies in its rarity and high-grade condition. As we all know, coins that were heavily circulated tend to show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, dings, and fading are common for coins that have been in people's pockets, purses, and wallets for decades. However, a 1980 Liberty 1 dime in near-perfect, uncirculated condition is a much rarer find. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins that have been preserved in their original state. A coin that has managed to stay uncirculated is considered to be in mint state, which makes it far more valuable than those that have been used and abused. Finding a 1980 Liberty 1 dime in such exceptional condition can make all the difference when it comes to its value on the market, but there's more to the story. Some 1980 Liberty 1 dimes have even been known to contain subtle minting errors that make them even more valuable. Coins with die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies are rare and highly sought after in the world of numismatics. These small errors can make a huge difference in a coin's value, as they are unique and can't be replicated. One of the most famous types of errors collectors look for is a double die, where the image on the coin has been stamped more than once, creating a blurred or doubled effect. If you happen to have a 1980 Liberty 1 dime with such an error, it could easily fetch a much higher price than an uncirculated coin without any issues. Now, let's talk about the design. On the obverse of the 1980 Liberty 1 dime, you'll see the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who became the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt is depicted facing left, with his signature, Liberty, across the top of the coin. The year 1980 appears below his portrait, along with the word, "In God We Trust," on the left side. To the right, the P mint mark shows that this particular coin was minted in Philadelphia. It's a simple, yet iconic design that represents a significant moment in U.S. history. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic image of a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols represent freedom, peace, and strength, respectively, values that resonate deeply in the American spirit. The reverse side also includes the words, "one dime," and the phrase, "e pluribus unum," which translates to, "out of many, one," a motto that perfectly encapsulates the unity of the United States. So, what makes this coin truly valuable? As we've discussed, its value is mainly driven by its rarity and condition. Finding a 1980 Liberty 1 dime in mint or near mint condition is a rare occurrence. Add to that the possibility of a minting error, and you've got a coin that could be worth far more than the 10 cents it was originally valued at. If you have a 1980 P Liberty 1 dime that is still in mint condition or has an error, you're in for a treat. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins like this, as they are a rare find and hold significant historical value. So, just how much could a 1980 P Liberty 1 dime be worth? Well, if you happen to have one of these rare coins in exceptional condition, you could be looking at a staggering $60,000. That's right, $60,000 for a single 1980 P Liberty 1 dime. The market for rare coins is always evolving, but for now, this dime can fetch a hefty sum if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if it has any of those highly desirable minting errors. So, what should you do if you have a 1980 P Liberty 1 dime? Take a close look at its condition. Check for any signs of wear, scratches, or errors in the design. If you think you've found a gem, it might be worth getting it appraised by a professional to ensure you know just how much it's worth, and if you don't have one yet, don't worry, this coin may still be out there waiting to be discovered. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know when you might come across a rare and valuable treasure hiding in plain sight. Third expensive coin, we've got a real treat for you, a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or buried in your change jar, waiting to make you a small fortune. I'm talking about the United States Liberty 1 dime coin from 1987, minted in Philadelphia with the P mint mark. You might think, a 1987 dime? That's nothing special. But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be shocked to learn just how much this coin could be worth if you've got one in top condition. Let's rewind for a moment and talk about the history of the Liberty 1 dime series. These dimes, which feature the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, have been a mainstay in American currency since 1946. Roosevelt's image graces the obverse of these coins, a tribute to the 32nd President of the United States, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The design has remained largely unchanged, and the dimes have been circulating in the United States for decades. By the time we reach 1987, the world had changed quite a bit. The United States was in the midst of a booming economy in the 1980s, but the dime still played an important role in the daily lives of everyday Americans. These coins were often used for small transactions, whether for a piece of gum, a toll on the highway, or just the loose change you'd find in your pockets. However, over time, something fascinating happened. These everyday coins became much harder to find in perfect, uncirculated condition. And that's what makes the 1987 P Liberty 1 dime such an interesting coin for collectors today. Most people don't realize that, just like any other currency, the value of a coin depends on a few key factors: its age, condition, and rarity. Now, while the 1987 P dime was minted in large quantities, finding one in pristine condition is incredibly rare. Many of these coins were circulated for years, tossed into jars, used for vending machines, and eventually worn down. But for those who took care of their coins, some have survived the decades without the usual scratches, dents, or tarnish that comes from daily use. So, what does that mean for the 1987 P Liberty 1 dime? The answer lies in the rarity of well-preserved specimens. Coins in mint condition, untouched by wear and tear, are far more valuable than the ones that have been passed around from pocket to pocket. When a coin is kept in its original state, it maintains its luster, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for that pristine quality. But it's not just about condition. Some 1987 P Liberty 1 dimes have been known to contain minting errors that make them even more desirable to collectors. Errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or even incomplete designs can make a coin incredibly rare and much more valuable. These errors are the kind of thing that numismatists go wild for. Imagine discovering that your 1987 P Liberty 1 dime has an off-center strike or a slight misalignment in the design. That little flaw could mean big bucks. The design of the 1987 P Liberty 1 dime is as iconic as they come. On the obverse, you'll find the dignified profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, with the word Liberty boldly inscribed above him. To the right of his portrait, you'll find the year 1987, while on the left, the familiar motto, "In God We Trust," is etched into the coin. Roosevelt's image is simple but powerful, symbolizing the strength, courage, and resolve of the American people during difficult times. On the reverse, the design features a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Below these symbols, you'll find the words, "one dime," along with the famous motto, "E pluribus unum," which translates to, "out of many, one." This symbolism has stood the test of time and remains a beloved feature of the coin. So, let's get to the exciting part. What makes the 1987 P Liberty 1 dime so valuable? The most important factor, as we've discussed, is its condition. While the coin might not have seemed special when it was minted in 1987, coins that have been preserved in mint or near mint condition are increasingly rare. If you've got one of these beauties sitting in your collection, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. How much could a 1987 P Liberty 1 dime actually be worth? Well, if you happen to own one in near perfect, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, prepare to be amazed. A 1987 P Liberty 1 dime could be worth an incredible $72,000. Yes, you heard that right, $72,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe, but that's the kind of value that rare, well-preserved coins can command. Of course, this doesn't mean that every 1987 P Liberty 1 dime is worth that much, but the rare, uncirculated examples or those with minting errors could easily fetch this kind of price at auction or through private sales. So, what should you do if you think you have a rare 1987 P Liberty 1 dime? The first step is to carefully inspect it. Check for any signs of wear, scratches, or other imperfections. Look for minting errors that could make your coin even more valuable. If you think you have a winner, it might be a good idea to have it appraised by a professional numismatist to get an accurate value. If you don't have one yet, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when you might stumble upon this hidden treasure. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and coins like the 1987 P Liberty 1 dime are out there waiting to be discovered. Now, we're going to take a deep dive into the United States Liberty 1 dime coin from 1990, minted in Philadelphia with the P mint mark. This coin may look like any other dime, but trust me, there's much more to this piece of currency than meets the eye. When most people think about dimes, they don't think of them as valuable collector's items. After all, a dime is worth only 10 cents, right? But here's where the magic happens. The 1990 P Liberty 1 dime isn't just any dime, it's a coin with a fascinating story, and it might just be worth a lot more than you expect. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much a 1990 P Liberty 1 dime can actually be worth in today's market. Let's take a trip back in time and set the scene. The year is 1990, and the United States was in the middle of a major transition. The country was coming off the tail end of a long recession in the 1980s and entering into a period of economic recovery. It was a time of change, and this was reflected in the coins that were being produced. The 1990 P Liberty 1 dime was part of the ongoing series of dimes featuring the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. This series, which was first introduced in 1946, was designed to honor Roosevelt's legacy, particularly his role in leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. But while the design and symbolism behind the 1990 P Liberty 1 dime are powerful, the real value of this coin comes from something that most people overlook: the condition and rarity of the coins that have survived the years. Most of the dimes that were minted in 1990 have been used and passed around, becoming worn and faded in the process. However, there are a few special examples of this coin that have been kept in pristine condition, and that's where the value lies. If you happen to have a 1990 P Liberty 1 dime that's in uncirculated, near-perfect condition, you're holding on to something quite special. The reason these coins are so valuable is that they are rare. Dimes are typically circulated frequently, and over time, they become scratched, scuffed, and tarnished. But a coin that has managed to stay in its original mint state, untouched by the wear and tear of everyday use, is a true rarity. Collectors are always on the lookout for these uncirculated coins because they are much more difficult to come by than most people realize. In addition to the rarity of well-preserved coins, there's something else that makes the 1990 p Liberty 1 dime even more intriguing: minting errors. Sometimes, during the production of coins, mistakes happen. These errors can range from slight misalignments in the design to off-center strikes or even double dies, where the image on the coin is stamped more than once, causing a blurry or doubled effect. If you happen to own a 1990 p Liberty 1 dime with one of these minting errors, you could be looking at a coin that's even more valuable than a regular uncirculated dime. Minting errors are a huge draw for collectors because they are unique and can't be replicated, making them even more desirable and valuable. Now let's talk about the design. The 1990 p Liberty 1 dime features the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse side of the coin. Roosevelt's image is simple yet dignified, capturing his strength and resolve. Above his portrait is the word Liberty, and below, you'll see the year 1990 and the motto, "In God We Trust." To the right of Roosevelt's image is the mint mark P, which tells us that this particular coin was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a design that has become synonymous with American liberty and freedom. The reverse shows a torch, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. These symbols represent the ideals of liberty, peace, and strength, values that are central to the American spirit. The words, "one dime," are inscribed at the bottom, along with the motto, "E pluribus unum," which means, out of many, one. It's a timeless design that captures the essence of the United States. So, what makes the 1990 p Liberty 1 dime so valuable? As we've mentioned, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and the possibility of minting errors. While millions of these dimes were produced, finding one that is in mint or near mint condition is incredibly rare. Coins that have been well preserved and remain in their original state fetch a much higher price in the market than those that have been worn down by years of circulation. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much could a 1990 p Liberty 1 dime be worth? If you have one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, if you've stumbled upon one with a minting error, you could be looking at a value that will knock your socks off. A 1990 p Liberty 1 dime in exceptional condition can be worth a jaw-dropping $45,000, yes, that's right, $45,000 for a single dime. It's unbelievable, but that's the value that these rare, well-preserved coins can command. Of course, this price doesn't apply to every 1990 p Liberty 1 dime, but if you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in your possession, you might be holding on to something worth a small fortune. So, if you've got a 1990 p Liberty 1 dime in your collection, it's time to take a closer look. Check its condition carefully. Is it uncirculated? Are there any minting errors that could make it even more valuable? If you're not sure, it might be worth getting your coin appraised by a professional to ensure you know exactly what you've got, and if you don't have one yet, keep an eye out. Rare coins like the 1990 p Liberty 1 dime are out there, and you never know when you might come across one. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, and this dime is just one example of the amazing things you might discover. Last unique coin, we've got an exciting topic for you: the United States Liberty 1 dime coin from 1981, minted in Denver with the D mint mark. You might be thinking, a 1981 dime? What's so special about that? Well, by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this little coin could be worth if you've got one in the right condition. Stick with us as we uncover the hidden value of this seemingly ordinary dime. First, let's take a step back and talk about the design and history behind the Liberty 1 dime series. The design of these dimes, featuring Franklin D. Roosevelt, has been a mainstay in U.S. coinage since 1946. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, is remembered for his leadership during some of the country's most challenging times, including the Great Depression and World War II. His portrait has appeared on the dime for decades, serving as a symbol of strength, leadership, and resilience. Now, fast forward to 1981. The U.S. was in the midst of the Reagan administration, a time when the country was experiencing economic shifts and changes. The 1981 dime was part of this era, produced in large quantities and used extensively in everyday transactions. Like most coins of the time, these dimes circulated widely, and over the years, many of them were worn down through daily use. However, there's something special about the 1981 D Liberty 1 dime that makes it stand out in the world of coin collecting: its rarity and pristine condition. You see, while the US Mint produced millions of these dimes, the majority were spent and used in daily commerce. As a result, most of these dimes show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and minor damage. But if you happen to have one of these coins that has been kept in excellent condition, or even better, one that's uncirculated, you could have a valuable gem on your hands. And that's exactly what makes the 1981 D Liberty 1 dime so sought after in the world of collectors. Let's talk about what makes a coin like this valuable. The key factors are rarity and condition. While a dime is a small denomination coin, its value is determined not just by its face value but by how well it's been preserved. If you own a 1981 D dime that hasn't been used much and still holds its original luster, you're looking at a coin that is worth far more than just 10 cents. Coins that have been carefully stored and kept in their original, uncirculated state are much rarer than you might think, especially for coins that were minted and circulated widely. The majority of coins from this time period have been passed around and are now in worn condition, which makes those that have survived in pristine condition even more desirable to collectors. In addition to the condition of the coin, there's another factor that can make the 1981 D Liberty 1 dime even more valuable: minting errors. Occasionally, during the minting process, mistakes happen. These errors can range from off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, to double dies, where the image is stamped more than once, creating a blurred or doubled effect. These minting errors are highly prized by collectors because they make the coin unique and one of a kind. If you happen to have a 1981 D Liberty 1 dime with a minting error, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth much more than a typical dime. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1981 D Liberty 1 dime. On the obverse side, you'll find the well-known portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt's profile is depicted with great detail, and above his head, the word Liberty is inscribed. To the left of his portrait, you'll see the motto, "In God We Trust," which has appeared on U.S. coinage for many years. To the right of Roosevelt's image, you'll find the mint mark D, indicating that this coin was minted in Denver. Below Roosevelt's portrait is the year, 1981, marking the year the coin was produced. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the design that has come to symbolize American liberty and strength. The reverse shows a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch represents freedom, while the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch represents strength and endurance. Below the torch and branches, you'll find the inscription, "1 dime," and the motto, "E pluribus unum," meaning, out of many, one. This design is simple yet powerful, representing the ideals that the United States was built on. So, how much is the 1981 D Liberty 1 dime worth? You might be surprised to learn that this seemingly ordinary coin, when found in pristine, uncirculated condition, can be worth a lot more than its face value. While most 1981 D dimes are worth just 10 cents, those that have been carefully preserved or contain minting errors can fetch far higher prices. If you've got a well-preserved 1981 D Liberty 1 dime, it could be worth a staggering $58,000, yes, you read that right, $58,000 for a single dime. That's the kind of value that a rare, uncirculated coin or one with a minting error can bring in the market. Of course, not every 1981 D dime will be worth this much, but if you happen to have one of these coins in excellent condition, it could be worth a small fortune. So, if you've got a 1981 D Liberty 1 dime in your collection, or if you find one in your change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Inspect it for any signs of wear and tear, and if you think it might be in uncirculated condition, don't hesitate to get it appraised. You might just be sitting on a rare and valuable piece of history. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the 1981 D Liberty 1 dime and how it can be worth so much more than you might have thought. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep your eyes peeled for hidden treasures.